from failing, dropping out of school, to building something that I thought was successful, to have someone who I loved, and not someone, it was people tell me who I love was like, yo, you're not a thought leader. To now I'm an adjunct professor. To now when I'm sitting inside of the president's office at Virginia Union, I'm sitting down with him and I'm sitting down with my dean, Dean John Guns and Dean Davis. And I'm like, y'all, this is a vision that God has given me and this is where I want to go. And I will never forget, you all, that I woke up on July 1st of 2024 at 2 a.m. and God told me, you're going back to school because right now I need you to do something major in the next 3 years, but I need to make sure that they can't discredit you. And so you're going to go back to school to get the accreditation because you have the experience, but you don't have the accreditation. But right now they can discredit you and disagree with you. He says, I don't care with them disagreeing with you because I have people who disagree with me as God, but they can't discredit the work that I've done. But right now people can discredit you because you don't have the accreditation. So I need you to go back to school. So I'm sitting here, I'm going back in school, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And I mentioned it to my homegirl, Lexi, when she was on my show. Lexi later on sends an email to the president. I remember that I know Dean Guns because I grew up with Dean Guns when I was in my ministry years, and I called him, and then one thing led to another, boom, I got a full ride scholarship to get my MBA, to finish the bachelor's and to get my MBA. And I'll be done and I'll be walking next year. But while I'm sitting in the office, I'm updating y'all. And I hope this encourages you. All I can hear in the back of my head was that you're not a thought leader. To sitting with one of the most profound doctors, presidents of a prestigious schools in the United States of America says, man, we need you here. Not just so you can get better, but you have something that this younger generation needs. You've built something amazing. And I want you to come here and teach our kids how to deal with finances because you are a thought leader. I've never had this conversation with him before. He said, you are that guy for our people. And I want you to come here. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to send you I'm going to recommend your name to other colleges because our young Black students need your information. And he doesn't even know this, and I hope you're watching this, President Lucas, but when I got done with that meeting, I left pumped, but I also left pumped with tears. I also left pumped crying. Because I've always carried this thing like, man, I got to prove to people that I'm a thought leader, that I know what I'm doing. And here's the thing. No matter what, people or not, I've learned this in life, that not everyone, not all of y'all watching this video is going to agree with everything that I do and say. And I felt so freed. That, man, I understand it. I'm not called to everyone. You're not called to everyone. I know this is an update of my life, but I just want to encourage you. You're not called to everyone. But the people who you're called to are going to love you. They're going to need you. They're going to honor you. And you're going to impact lives. But don't let the naysayers, don't let the people who don't see what God put inside of you determine your future. Because here's the truth, it is an extreme honor to serve these students and to help them avoid the financial mistakes that I made when I was their age, that many of us made in our younger years. The noise, it's distracting. It's pulling me away from my purpose, and I need to make a change. Enough is enough. The hardest part is taking the first step. But on the other side of fear is freedom. It's time to take your seat at not just the table, but the head of the table. You see, abundance, wellness, and freedom are within reach. Embrace your purpose. It's your table. It's your life. It's your time. Does the world ever get so loud that it's hard to even think? Your purpose is calling, but you can't seem to hear it through all the noise until right now. It's time to take your seat at the table. What's meant for you will never miss you. But first, it's time to step into your power, own your purpose, and reach your God-given potential. Which is going to lead me into I won't say about number 3, but the next thing I want to update you all on is really the direction of this show. We're seeing a bunch of podcasts show up. We're seeing a bunch of, we're seeing a bunch of YouTubers and experts, come, quote unquote, right? And I've noticed that I've gotten very comfortable with having a lot of guests sit at the table. And I think throughout the 4 years of me doing this show on my own, at the caliber of what we've done it, I think I've only had maybe one guest that I was like, ooh, maybe two. And I feel good about that. But this year we're making some changes. And one of the first changes you're going to see is you're going to see fewer guests and more of me teaching. Because last year in 2024, my homegirl Lexi Allen joined me on the show. She said something that stuck with me after the show. She said, most people need help understanding the basic skills and the basics of financial education. And that hit me hard. So family, we're going to go back to the basics. I'm going back to, you know what? I got to help my people gain financial freedom with practical, basic tools. For an example, I'm going to be teaching budgeting using my Wealth Builder tool. I'm going to be teaching you how to build your emergency fund using a high yield savings account like SoFi, what I teach. Like I'm going to show you practically how to take the money from the interest that you gain from SoFi, how it goes back into that, and how you're going to make more money. I'm getting back to the basis of how do we pay off debt. I even actually have an ebook that I'm going to be teaching from called Practical Ways to Save and to Make More Money. Man, I'm bringing in my brothers. I am going to bring in guests. I'm bringing in brothers, my coalition group. And every single month, we are going to be coaching people on how to buy their first home, how to buy their first rental home. What are the basic ways? I'm going to be partnering with my brother Courtney, and we're going to be teaching people how to invest for beginners. And I don't know if we have any more ticket sales, but man, me and him are sitting down with 100 Black men on February 1st. And we are going to be teaching, man, how to invest from a beginning standpoint. Now, if you're at the intermediate stage, this is still great for you. If you're at the advanced stage, this is still a great opportunity because he may be talking about something you don't know in this area, but just getting in a room of Black men and we're going after the information and education without having to worry about if I ask this question, will my girlfriend look at me crazy? Will my girlfriend be embarrassed when I'm asking this question? Or I don't want to ask this question because there's other girls in here and I want to look like I know it all. So no, we created a space to where we can bring in Black men and really position themselves to ask and to learn without being embarrassed. And the list goes on and on. But if you want to be a part of the investing, the men coming together here in DC, we're going to a Black-owned restaurant. I only got 100 seats. I know at the time of recording this, I only got 30 seats left. So you can go to anthonyoneal.com/brothers and register, see if we have any spots. But we're going to do this every quarter this year. Like I'm taking what God is giving me and I'm switching back to what was working. I want to make sure that you have everything you need to thrive this year.